Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. After a fantastic panel session on safety culture, mindset, the tools for high performance. And we had a wonderful session with our esteemed panel members. My compliments to all the panel members for wonderfully having this session of knowledge with the entire audience. And special thanks and congratulations to Mr. Santosh Kumar Srivastav, GM and Head of EHS OGH from Tata Projects, for wonderfully moderating the session. We now move on, ladies and gentlemen, to our next important session of the day on a very interesting and a very exciting topic on HSE tech adaptation. Simplicity is the key. And to talk on this subject, I would like to call on stage Mr. Rohan Oberoi, founder and CEO of Momentum India. Rohan, welcome to the India HSE Summit. We are indeed extremely glad and delighted to have you here. And before you begin your topic, which I'm sure is going to be fantastic and exciting, I would like to tell you that we are now live with 1,097 attendees who are watching this session live. So a lot of curious people would be definitely after your session, and they will get to know more about your products and offerings. And before Rohan begins the session, I would like to tell all my attendees that Team Momentum India is there throughout the end of the session, which is by 6 o'clock today. So even after Rohan's session, anybody of you who are interested to know more about Momentum's offering, please interact and chat with their team. They will be more than happy to share their products, insights, as well as helping out with your unique requirements. Rohan, all over to you, and all the best. Looking forward to a fantastic session.
Thank you, Soumya. Thank you very much. Very good afternoon to everyone. Just on the cusp of good evening, actually. So good afternoon, good evening to all of you. I hope you're all doing really well. Give me just a few seconds to quickly share my screen so we can all get aligned with what we are working on. Just a second, please. All right, I believe my screen is visible right now. And thank you very much for listening to me, the 1,097 people who are here. It's a shame I'm unable to see each one of you because I usually love talking to faces, and it's a great experience trying to see how people react when you're actually talking, especially when you can bring on smiles to people's faces. It's sad that we can't do it this year, but hopefully soon. Tech has advanced in a great way today, and I think a few months ago we would have never imagined doing, or at least a year ago we would have never imagined doing a conference like this with each other and having maybe a couple of thousand people on the same platform. But today it does happen seamlessly. However, I love interacting with people, and I think if we ever get the opportunity again to get to that stage, I'd love to do it again. Having said that, our topic today is very simple, and I think I'll talk about this, and I keep talking about this all the time. I've been saying it for the last few years since I started Momentum India, that simplicity is extremely important. Okay, in anything you do, whether it is a talk that I'm doing today, whether it's trying to explain something, or whether it's trying to provide a service to a particular person or an organization. The reason I say this is because it's not necessary that the way you understand a particular topic or subject or the way you absorb it, and that's the same way everybody else will. Okay, and I take this learning from my teachers in school, and I'm sure in college, and all of you must have had some as well. There were some who were great, and then some we liked them, but we didn't really like the way they taught us. And the difference wasn't that they were nice people or bad people. I think the difference was how simple they made the subject for us. So the simpler they made it for us, the easier we absorbed it, right? So I think taking that as the base of today's topic, simplicity, and that is the key to almost everything, we will talk about it in relation to HSE tech adoption. Okay. To start with, let me give you a brief background of what Momentum India is. I started this as a vision with my partner in New Delhi back in 2015. So we've been almost 7 years operational today. With the last 7 years, despite COVID or not, we've grown from a 3-member team to a 70-member team today, having almost 150 members, consultant and permanent, joined across different parts of the country with us. and we've got permanent teams out of Delhi, Bengaluru, Mumbai, Hyderabad, and Vadodara. I mean, I think all I'd like to say is we're probably doing something right to make sure that we've been able to expand at the pace that we've expanded. And I think the key to that, again, and I'd like to say this in again and again and again repeatedly today, is simplicity. Um, I was just discussing this with my team a few hours back, and not about this subject, but a completely different topic. And what came out was that we are almost a semi-engineering organization that's run, right? And in engineering, I'm sure with all of you, most of you who are extremely well educated, smart individuals and engineers who are on this session today will realize that in engineering you're constantly taught that even if something is off by a millimeter, you may not get the whole system right, right? So we are constantly aiming for perfection, and to get, and I mean perfection is in the design that we've created, and try to get that to the right place. However, health and safety is slightly different. Even though it's an engineering subject, there is no perfect in it. The problem here is we are actually dealing with human minds who are constantly making these mistakes. And that's why we need to start thinking out of the box. Whether it's tech, whether it's actual consultation services, whether it's actual implementation on ground, this is where the key differences start to come. Over the last 7 years, we've worked with at least about 600 clients, length and breadth of the country. We were luckily the first people to have worked. So we were the first. Our first clients in the country was Tata Steel, and from there on, we actually went to schools. So you'd wonder why, from a mega steel plant, one of the biggest and the greatest in the world, to schools. It's because we realized that there was an educational gap in this entire system, and it is very tough to teach 45-year-olds like me safety if we've never learned it as a part of our education system. And sadly, so in most engineering colleges also it is missing. So the way to do it was to start it at grassroots, right? I mean, if you want to become a champion in cricket, Sachin Tendulkar doesn't come onto the pitch straight away and start hitting sixes. Doesn't do that, right? The way to do it is he picks up a bat when he's 6 years old. Likewise, if we want to ingrain safety into everybody's mindsets and want to change India as a country where safety is embedded into our culture and not something that is driven because of punishment, okay, or reward, then we have to do it through grassroots. Okay, and the grassroots is in schools. So that's how we went there. And we took safety literally to every place. Talk about Netflix, talk about Amazon Prime, talk about IPL, talk about football, talk about Royal Enfield, talk about Dr. Reddy's Laboratories. We were able to work with different organizations, inculcating a value of safety in different ways, whether it was training, whether it was building standard operating procedures, whether it was conducting assessments, whether it was creating a system which allowed them to operate seamlessly, and in a simple word put together, business continuity. Okay. Coming to the topic, and enough about Momentum India. Okay, the topic today is fairly interesting, and I like this slide because I'll tell you what. Look at what's on the, and to me, it's on the left and right of the screen. I hope you're looking at it the same way. Okay. Binary code, when it's written, okay, it's complex. It's difficult to understand. I have no clue about it. I'm not a tech person, but I've understood tech very well now. Okay, having worked over the last couple of years in it, we're a hardcore consultation firm. We never were into tech, but over the last 2 years, we've done a lot of investment, research, development into tech, and made mistakes. Believe you me, we went wrong multiple times, burnt our fingers, burnt our money, wasted our time. But trust me, we realized that where we were going wrong. And that's what I'm trying to explain today. And today's topic will try and get you to understand what we did wrong. Okay. And my aim today to share this with you is like, these are the mistakes we made. And that's when we started realizing, no, there's a better way of doing this. Okay. And there's a better system of doing this. And that's what I'm bringing to you today. Look at the first top left corner, the word, failure mode effect analysis, UDAs, FMEAs, green belt, Six Sigma. These are great terminologies, great systems, but it actually confuses a person, right? I mean, not more than 10% of the population in any organization actually understands this. And then application becomes very difficult down the line. I'm not saying everybody fails at it. Maybe there are 10, 20% people succeed in it. But then there are 80% population that actually fail in being able to take this knowledge and push it down, right? It stays with them. They are great ambassadors of these concepts, but they may not be the best ambassadors of being able to teach other people the same concepts. Similarly, in tech, okay, you have the same problems. We may be very good tech experts. We may be able to actually figure out how to do tech. We are great. Maybe I was the best. I was very bad at playing video games, but let's say many other people were great at doing this. Okay, but you have to look at it. You are not everything. I am not everything. We are only a small part in the entire system. If I run 100-member organization, can 99 others run the tech system in the same way? To give you an example, Momentum India as a company set on a tech initiative for ourselves internally, and we adopted Microsoft D365 and Power BI systems for our processes internal. Okay, when I'm talking about accounts, sales, business development, 5 years ago. So about a year and a half into operations, we already started doing it. We spent a whole lot of money into this, and we promised ourselves that we'll do it well. We created an enterprise system for ourselves beautifully. Nothing wrong with the consultants, believe you me. I just because I wasn't able to actually implement it, I may blame the consultant, but the consultant and the developer and the tech team did a fabulous job. There was nothing wrong that they did. The fault was within me and my team. We were unable and not ready to adapt. Okay, we were just not ready for it. And that's what we failed to see. The desire, the wish list was there, but the ability was lacking. And that's where we need to realize what is it where we are. Okay. And then my favorite word on the right-hand corner, on the right-hand side, which you see is jugaad, right? And why do I write this out there? You know, a lot of people are trying to go industry 4.0 or IoT or artificial intelligence, machine learning, and so many other things. I mean, people tell me, make me the most perfect FMEA plan when we go into consultation, or they say, give me IoT and give me something that where through IoT an intelligent system is telling me whether my machine is going to break down or not. Okay, well, yes, maybe it might be able to do it in 10, 20, 25, maybe 30% of industries or clusters, but 70% will still struggle. Why? Because the jugaad will fail it. You know, we are brilliant at it. We mix and match. I've had my clients tell me when we bought a machine, it was Japanese, and through years of maintenance, breakdown maintenance, I'm not talking about preventive, it's now become Chinese because we keep on buying parts with us, which are the cheapest available. Now, the system is of jugaad. How do we expect this system to be learned by a machine which is built for perfect systems? Now, we are designing a system to fail, and then we say the system was not good or my people were not good. No, I don't think that was the case. I think the system was not ready for it. We were not ready for it. Our system on ground was incorrect. Okay, let me try and explain it a little more. Look at the 4 core issues or 5 core issues that we are over here. Okay, safety culture mindset, right? In general, I mean, listen, we're talking about tech adoption in HSE out here. I'm not talking about TikTok. Okay, TikTok sells itself, right? WhatsApp sells itself. People want to post themselves, right? I mean, I'm sure 1,000 people here, maybe still right now, unless I've become extremely boring. Each one of you has at probably some point of time taken a selfie and posted it somewhere. Okay. If I gave this tech capability to each one of you on HSE and not on WhatsApp to post a picture, everybody's on WhatsApp. Each one of you have adapted to it, okay, as a communication tool, as a part to stay connected with friends. But if I gave an HSE tech tool to each one of you, I can assure you 80% of you will not even look into it, probably including me, okay? Because it's not excitement, it's not entertainment. Our minds work very differently when it comes to these two things. Okay, that's why TikTok did not need to advertise itself like Byju's and still became a billion-dollar organization, right? Wherein HSE tech is a problem. Here we are still struggling, even today in India, struggling to tell people to wear helmets on a motorbike. And I'm talking about the thousands of workers who are probably even coming to your plants and your factories and your organizations, and we're expecting them to now become champions in tech. So is our mindset ready? Are we ready with the culture? or are we still struggling on this? Second is tech capability. We are building brilliant tech, which does fancy things, but is my team downline who's going to use it ready for it? There are language barriers. There are tech capability barriers. They have still not understood the difference between regular Android and iOS systems. They're probably still using regular analog systems. How do we get them to use tech? Okay, how do we get them to actually start doing things? Again, let's not put it like WhatsApp. WhatsApp is something that is their desire. They want to do it, so they will learn it. Okay, this is forced onto them. This is not their desire. That's why the tech capability is extremely important. We have to learn whether they are ready for it or not. Okay, then comes integrity concerns. Okay, are people ready to be honest? When a consultant does a risk assessment or a checklist based audit, let's say you get 60%, 70% scores. Okay, the same thing done in-house, automatically we get 90% or 95% scores. This is a lot to do with integrity. I've heard QR codes were put on machines, people were supposed to scan it and then possibly do an assessment. People actually took pictures of those QR screens, put it on one phone, scanned it with the other phone, and while sitting on their desk actually completed the checklist, right? And these are the things that we need to be ready for. Is my organization honest enough to absorb these concerns? Okay. And finally, are we making these changes at the grassroots level? Once again, are we transforming the safety culture? And if you're doing that, then I think maybe we are ready for the next safety culture mindset change, okay, which is tech adoption. Having said that, I would like all of you to quickly either scan these using your mobile phones if you have a secondary device, just a quick poll, or you can type this in your web browser, which is https ahaslides.com, and in caps have BM7MJ. Of course, please put the front slashes and the colons. I will exit for a second and let my team member take over the poll so that we can see what you like. The question is, do you prefer a SaaS or an enterprise model? If you had to go tech way, would you go SaaS or would you go enterprise model? Let me explain the difference for those of you who don't understand. SaaS is software as a service, okay? Which means, let's say I was the software provider. I have a company. I tell you, pay me 5,000 rupees and take the software and use it. It's like you are buying my software as a service, but it's not exclusive for you. It's for multiple people. It may be tweaked a little to suit your requirements, but it still applies to many other people. Enterprise model sits on your server in your office. Nobody uses the same concept, and it's totally your system. May do the same thing that the SaaS does, but it sits on your servers. Okay, it doesn't sit on a cloud or an Amazon server, right? Anaga, please go ahead, and I'd like you to share your screen just to understand where we stand with the question and answer. Anaga, you're able to share? All right, if you all can scan, or those of you who can scan, I'll be really highly obliged if we still have this team on board with us. Just scan this QR code or type this down, go to ahaslides.com and then put down your code as BM7MJ and then just answer the question. Yeah, what do you think you prefer? Software as a service or an enterprise model? Yeah. Let's see what the answers are. If we've got about 40 seconds, if you want to punch in your answers right now. All right, we've got 50-50. Excellent. Let's keep going. The more the merrier. We've got 25 more seconds to go, 20 more seconds to go. All right. The last 10 seconds. Let's keep answering. Let's keep pushing the button and see what we would like to do. Great. We've got 75% which say software as a service and 25% that say an enterprise model. That's really great to see. Anaga, if you want to stop sharing your screen, okay. So let's remember 75% people said it is software as a service and 25% says It is a enterprise model. I'm really happy to see this. I'll tell you why. Okay. Let's look at the pros and cons. The pros and cons, if you look at speed of implementation, a SaaS model is extremely fast, okay, wherein an enterprise model takes long. When you look at customization and improvement, okay, this is already a SaaS model is already beta tested. It doesn't have the bugs. It's already done. You can do trial periods with it, okay, and then say, no, I don't like it. Take it away. However, within an enterprise model, if you go wrong, that wrong is also your problem. Yes, you may say that they didn't make the best app, but maybe you didn't give the best explanation because it's two people trying to understand each other and then build a system, right? Also requires constant updating, requires an in-house team. High integration cost for a enterprise system and a low deployment cost. In fact, initial deployment almost zero. Start it, use it for a month, realize it whether you like it or not, and then stop using it. The biggest concern that people have with SaaS model is my data security. What about my things? Guys, this is HSC. We are not putting our economic data onto this. We're not putting our budgets down here. We're possibly doing simple modulated systems. So I think there is.
Rohan, I'm so sorry. Sorry to interrupt you there. We exceeded 3 minutes, so I would request you if you could, quickly wrap it up. I know a lot of information, but a humble request if you can wrap it because we are already with 3 minutes excess.
Sure. Let me
Over
let
to
me
you, Rohan.
finish it
Yeah,
in literally a minute.
sure.
I'll wrap this up here, and all I'll say is what's needed right now is to modularize your system. Okay, let's just look at these two simple things. Modularize it. Look at small modules. Don't take everything at once. Okay, and look at the simplest system that you can deploy right now. Don't look at the most complex system. Okay. Having said that, let me just tell you, over the last 5, 7 years, the learnings that we've had, using that, we deep dived into tech. And I think after multiple mistakes, we've come up with a very successful model, which right now has 4 modules, which is unsafe acts and conditions, by far the most successful one and the best one to go with. As a recommendation, I would say that's the first thing that you should deploy. Even if it is not with us or Momentum India, you could go ahead and do it on your own or with someone else. But I think that works fantastically well. It's really quick adaptation, and people actually start using it. There are other things that I can talk about, but what I'll do is, because paucity of time and listening to what Soumya said, I'll end this here. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope we can meet each other someday and work together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rohan. Wonderful presentation there, and I'm sure very insightful there. Just like to remind the audience that Rohan and the team of Momentum India are still there till the end of the sessions for today, which is till 6 o'clock. So please, reach out to them. You can chat and interact with them. And Rohan, always a pleasure having you, and I look forward to having you again in our next edition of the India HSE Summit. Thank you so much.
Likewise, Soumya. Thank you very much.